Scorpion. Get over here!
That is some rockin' music. What's happening, guys? Hardcore Kid here with a brand new episode of the Hardcore Podcast. I'm finally back. I was unable to attend the last week's recording since I was at a whole bunch of different 4th of July parties, and I had to be respectful to this beautiful country known as America. But I would like to give a big thank you to Otaku Nate for filling in for me.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's always good. So I was willing to take one for the team, especially after you filled in for me, or you've done shows without me in the past.
So, how did last week go? I heard you were with the Battle Royale with Cheese dude.
Oh, Miles Picalo was a great guest. He was very insightful, told us all sorts of behind-the-scenes stuff, and when we went off the air, he gave us some even more juicy tidbits that I did not record.
No spoilers, please.
I won't, but there's going to be some crazy stuff happen in the coming weeks. That's all I know.
Were you able to save me a Baconator?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Where is it?
In my ass.
Well, I won't take it then. Thank you. I'll just go to Wendy's myself and get a nice fresh one. Fresh, never soiled. Speaking of soiled, we have Ryan Beaver with us today.
Fuck you.
And
okay, speaking of, since you brought up hamburgers, though, I had the weirdest fucking dream last night. Like,
yeah?
no shit. I had a dream where I was traveling the whole world, like, not like the city, the whole world, looking for a McDonald's. Like, no kidding. I even stopped by a pizza place, and it was a McDonald's that I just wanted the whole dream. And I was thinking the whole time when I woke up, did that thing from Futurama where they advertise in your dreams come true? Because if that's the case, that's pretty fucking scary.
You dreamt that the only restaurant left in the world was Taco Bell? Like Demolition Man?
Well, you know, Taco Bell did win the poll for greatest Mexican restaurant.
Where did this happen?
Murica?
No, it was in like what website or something.
I don't even remember, but I saw it on Twitter.
Even the most sane person would not vote for Taco Bell.
Yeah, no. Chipotle maybe, but definitely not Taco Bell.
Chipotle's overrated. Qdoba's where it's at.
Or Taco Hombre up in Warwick. That's really cool.
Actually, I think the best place, in my personal opinion, is just the restaurant near my house called Picante's. It's easily like the best Mexican place. It's been around for 20 years and it's never lost its consistency and flavor.
Oh yeah, same here. Like we have a really nice, authentic Mexican restaurant in Boonton called Chili Willie's, but we're getting off topic.
Chili Willie's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So this has been a very exciting week for a lot of things. This week we watched an amazing episode of a TV show about fighting robots. And we watched a very horrible episode on TV about fighting robots. And we got to see the first ever lesbian wedding on a kid's cartoon.
And it was also
Yay!
Anime Expo this weekend, and a lot of really good stuff got announced.
Yeah, but I digress. So, there was no bonus episode for BattleBots last week, so we're filling in with a very special bonus for this week's episode of the Hardcore Podcast, in which we go back to 2006, where we reviewed the Zoe 101 episode of Robot Wars, but we're going to save that for the ending, after we're done with this episode. In fact,
it'll likely be its own little bonus episode afterward.
Yeah, I'm going to upload it as a separate, like a little Hardcore Kid edition, but without seeing clips of me just ranting off random shitty scripted jokes.
I will prepare my brain cells because I'm going to lose a lot of them reviewing this.
Hey, don't worry, you can unleash your frustration on this episode all you want. So
Good.
So we'll move on to episode 9 of BattleBots, and I'm going to say this right now. This is probably the best episode of this season since the first episode.
Oh my god, yes. usually, like, Alex Hall brought up in the last episode, like, how in the middle of Robot Wars, that's sort of where the meh episodes start happening, but considering that we're almost at the halfway point, it's not slowing down.
Yeah.
Like, last week's episode was decent, but all the BS kind of weighed it down, but I feel that there was very little BS this time around. It was an excellent show from top to bottom.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what I thought about last week's episode, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 6, because I thought the first 2 matches ended with the best robot just stopping. But, yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10. But this episode was much better, and we'll get right into the matches, and we start off with a Chomp match.
Oh, boy! Please kill me where I stand.
Which is also a huge match.
Huge! Yeah, that saved this match. Huge is...
I love how I love how the Huge team puts Huge into attack mode at the beginning of the fights. Like, the two teams just pull up on the eyes, and now it's serious, y'all.
And this match featured the incredible debut of SurrenderBot, which is a little mini bot box that...
Did they make that thing out of a tissue box?
It looks like it.
It looked like it was a box of tissues.
And the idea for SurrenderBot is that since Chomp's act uses an autonomous system, it can get right into the area where Chomp's system operates. It can just fire the axe randomly and send Chomp just flying right onto its side. And
I feel so bad for Zoe Stevenson, really. Like, she gets all this unwarranted backlash, and, well, say unwarranted backlash, but I don't feel that it's unwarranted in some regards.
I don't know. I mean, I think, like we've said, I think if Chomp, because when I first, when Chomp was doing its intro, I saw those little sticks on the side, and I thought those were to keep it steady. No, that was the weapon lock.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the weapon...
Oh... Huge did its thing and just tore that thing asunder.
Like, what is that axe made of?
I don't know.
It looks like it does not look very sturdy with how it wobbles.
Yeah, it wobbled more than one of Bailey's big inflatable tube men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, someone made a joke about that in the comments of the group discussion. Someone actually posted a picture of that saying Chomp's arms after the fight.
Yeah.
But I loved this fight.
Oh, me too.
I honestly was not rooting against Chomp. I was rooting for Huge.
Yeah.
Everybody roots
consensus.
for Huge.
I am too, because I love Gabriel, and Huge was inspired by Gabriel.
And this match, like Chomp tried to get some hits in, but Huge just managed to completely dismantle the axe. But to Chomp's credit, say what you will about Zoe, she did some really good driving in this match. Mm-hmm. Just slamming Huge right into the screws, just pushing it around, but just doing what she actually could just to take Huge out. And there were points where Huge's weapon stopped, and I thought maybe Chomp might get the win, but no, this was totally Huge.
Nope. Huge just absolutely squashed it. Zoe looked visibly upset at the end of the fight, like she knew that Chomp had lost this one.
If there is one positive to say about Chomp, now that it no longer has the axe, it's under the height limit.
Oh. Fuck you, Brandon.
In more positive news, looks like since Huge is now 3-0, I think it's actually going to make it to the top 16.
It's a definite at this point.
It's a lock. It's an easy lock. What I really like about this season of BattleBots is just how unpredictable it's been. Like, usually you have, robots like Tombstone and others that you expect to be in there, but, you've got Sawblaze, you've got Petunia, you've got Monsoon in there, too.
You got Huge.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I'd say it's the best Chomp match I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Especially since it wasn't flying around on its side the entire time. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it didn't have its axe to throw it on its side.
Yeah. But this was a lot of fun, and Huge got the well-deserved judge's decision at the end. So they go 3-0, and it looks like they're going to be making it to the top 16, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
Any last words on this match, Ryan?
Huge.
So, Huge gets the victory, and we move on to a battle of the spinner wedges.
Oh boy, this was a beauty.
Yeah, Warhawk versus Brutus.
You know, when you have spinner versus spinner matches, it's always going to come down to that one hit to decide. And usually, like, you know, spinner versus spinner matches tend to be over quickly. Not this one. Oh no.
Yeah. It really, right at the start, Warhawk managed to land a really big hit on Brutus and just flip it upside down. Mm-hmm. And Brutus doesn't work very well upside down. But
it kept going.
It kept going, and it managed to get that good slam itself against the wall. And
I love that
over.
moment, using the arena to its advantage. Like the moment where it just gets a running start at the wall and just bang back on its wheels.
Yeah, and when you have the disc spinning downward and you run it into something, it's a good way to flip yourself back right side up again, and that's what Brutus did. It's a shame about Warhawk, because right after it delivered that hit, it kind of was having drive issues.
Yeah.
And so it was basically a sitting duck for Brutus, who delivered this huge hit right on Warhawk.
Since it did a 450 splash in the air. That right there, my friends, is our John Reed good hit of the night.
Can't argue with that.
Thank you, Dale Bruce, for the picture, by the way.
Yeah, hopefully, were you able to save it?
I sent it to you. You can save it.
I'll save it. Yeah. And and then Warhawk, they were, it was kind of moving, but not like out of its circumference, so the ref was counting it out.
I did see a little movement, but like it wasn't completely forward.
And then Brutus, Mr. Adam Baruch, went ahead and gave a little delayed hit at the end.
Oh man. Didn't get a lot of heat for it though.
Well, I think
people have just gotten over it at this point.
Yeah.
And
And Warhawk, they weren't salty about it. Like, they were kind of moving at the end, so Brutus was obviously going in to try and give it a last mercy killing. But Brutus managed to get out the victory at the end, and they go 2-1. And Warhawk, I believe, is now 1-1. I think.
1-1.
They didn't have any
no, they didn't.
Fights.
They did steal Duck's beak and put it at the front of their robot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly felt really bad, though, because I really like Warhawk. I was actually kind of rooting for him to win this fight. So I just like the theming of Warhawk better, and the overall design better.
Yeah.
I
like the team, too. I like Rob Farrow.
I like I love the little Indian tribal design they've got in reference to Seattle's heritage.
Yeah, and of course the name being a reference to Seattle's biggest robot event, War.
I did not catch that.
Western Allied Robotics is Washington State's biggest event.
And they just had an event this past weekend, I believe. So.
Yep. I think most of the guys from that event were the guys who built this robot. So.
Yeah, they had a whole bunch of guys on the team this time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so Brutus managed to get the victory. Goes 2-1. Warhawk is 1-1. So neither of them are out of it yet. There's still a chance for either team to move on to.
I think Brutus.
Top 16.
I get the feeling that Brutus is going to make it. I feel that they've solved their weapon motor problems.
Yeah. Now that they've had plenty of time to fix up all the issues they had from when they got here, and it's pretty powerful. I mean, it managed to take out Son of Oyachi. It got a real good hit on Warhawk. So good things are coming for them.
Mm-hmm.
What's not good coming for them are the Captain Shredderator team. And who was this driving Captain Shredderator this time?
I do not know his name. I know that Nick Navi got called away. They said it was a gaming convention, but I don't know what gaming conventions are out in Florida. I'm going to look it up right now.
He's going to look it up right now. But yep, Captain Shredderator was up against Petunia from Holland. And I'm gonna say it right. Like, I had such high hopes for Captain Shredderator going into this season. It's just become pants for them.
I know.
It's like, whenever you think they're going to win a match, they just knock themselves out. It's just frustrating.
Well, to be fair, they didn't really knock themselves out. Petunia actually pulled what I call a red devil.
Just slamming into them and
Just,
knocking them into the wall.
Yeah, that's the power of Wedge.
And Captain Shredderator, who is quote-unquote too tough for Razor, ended up getting knocked out into the screws, and Petunia just put the crusher right into them, and Captain Shredderator exploded, basically.
Hit him right in the sweet spot. Like I think it punctured a lipo.
Yeah, that's I can tell that was definitely lipo smoke.
They had to bring in the yellow tubes afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I like Captain Shredderator and I like Brian Nave, and I am going to Battle Beach for his event in Daytona Beach this coming September, so
yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I believe Ian is going to be going there as well. Ian Miller.
Nice.
He's got Quicksand going, so
When is the event?
September 24th and the 25th.
I have Colossal Con that month. I don't think I can go, though, because, early September, but I feel that it's just kind of too much for me.
I can't really go just because of the fact that I'm in school at the time, and I'm basically on, like, the opposite end of the country in Massachusetts.
Yeah, the event is on a Monday and a Tuesday, believe it or not.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
I do feel kind of bad for Captain Shredderator, but I honestly really like Petunia. I honestly consider it like the modern day Razor. Like if Razor was rebuilt, this is what it would probably end up looking like.
I like how Petunia finished the fight on its back.
Yeah, it did a little.
It popped a wheelie.
It did a little posing towards the end, like laying back, relaxing. I got this victory. Yeah. Yeah, like Petunia, I think was a real surprise for me because the biggest problem I had with it was I thought the wedge was too steep, but it's been doing pretty well. It was the perfect design to counter Captain Shredderator.
Hits.
Yeah, just that big solid wedge, just knocking Captain Shredderator around, and Petunia gets the win, and it gets 2-1. Captain Shredderator is 0-3, and I don't see it in the top 16,
No, I don't.
Yeah, Petunia, on the other hand, has a chance.
Yeah.
It's surprising. Like, its only real loss has been to Monsoon.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of a frustrating loss, I thought, because they basically went up in flames. And I do have to give him credit for being able to put it back together after combusting in the last match. Yeah, but... Yeah, Petunia gets the win. And speaking of frustrating losses, that brings us to the penultimate match of this episode. And honestly, I thought this was the best match up to this point until the main event. It was Bombshell versus Yeti, the Battle of the Drums.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I feel kind of bad since you said that this is like the second best match of the episode. I actually zoned out.
Oh,
you did?
Come on.
Yeah,
really?
No. Yeah, I actually zoned out.
Oh,
really? Because I thought it was a pretty good grit back and forth match with.
Yeah, I kind of zoned out for like the middle of the match, just because the fact. Well, I mean, I was also in kind of like a Facebook argument at the time, so.
Oh, come on. Yeah, but so there is a story behind this match. The story is Mike Jeffries and Bombshell. They're essentially the number 2 seeds of this season. They're 0-2. They want to get back into title contention so that they have a chance to make it to the top 16. And they were so close in this match. Like
very back and forth.
Very back
shoving.
and forth.
Bombshell was getting all the good hits in on Yeti. Yeti lost its chain.
It lost all of its weapons here. It lost the drum. It lost the lifters. And Bombshell, there was a point where they accidentally gyroed right into Yeti's drum and one of the wheels got buckled, but it was still going.
Yeah.
This thing was still going. And in the last few seconds, we were thinking, oh yeah, Bombshell's got this. The disc is still going. It's still moving.
And then, bang.
Bang.
Something blew up inside of it.
Yeah, and that was it. Bombshell was essentially dead in the last 10 seconds.
It wasn't like 6 seconds more like, because it wasn't even immobile long enough for the countdown.
Yeah, it was frustrating, and it did go to a judge's decision, and it unanimously went to Yeti. And it was like, and they did have and before you get into, oh, this is totally up for Fight Court, and it's like, well, they did have a segment. They have one of those segments mid commercial break where they discuss. They have like these little skits and whatnot, and basically they had an interview with the judges, and they all gave their reasons for why they gave the decision to Yeti, and apparently the whole primary weapon rule, because Bombshells had the only primary weapon going, apparently that's gone out the window. Mm-hmm. They're basically given their own like criteria for how they won, and I forget the judges' names. Like I only
Naomi Kyle, Derek Young, and they had a new one this week.
And I think was Naomi the first one.
Yeah, Naomi.
Her reason was she thought Yeti was more controlled.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because Yeti managed to damage one of Bombshell's wheels.
I don't remember what Derek Young said because I was distracted by his bright yellow glasses. And the last judge said, "Oh, the robot Bombshell exploded at the end, so Yeti basically gets the decision."
Well, just remember what Miles Picala told us last week. The judges are also accounting for internal damage as well.
Yeah.
And Yeti was still fully functional by the end, whereas Bombshell, it basically, I feel that last thing was what did it in.
Yeah. It's a shame, because we really like Mike Jeffries. He's always been a big hit up at Motorama. He always makes such awesome bots, and it really is frustrating, because, again, two of the most frustrating losses, the most frustrating ways to lose a match is if you're dominating a match and then your robot just blows up, breaks down at the end, and that's what happened to Bombshell, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I did think it was a hell of a fight, though. What'd you think?
Yeah.
What'd you think, Ryan? Oh, yeah, you, Ryan, fell asleep during this match.
Oh no, I didn't fall asleep. I zoned out because I was in a Facebook argument, which I'm not saying I'm proud of it. I'm just pointing out the facts.
All right, but Yeti does get the win, goes 2-1. Bombshell goes 0-3. So I thought this was the best match up to the point, and then we got the main event.
Can I take over here for a second? Because
go right ahead.
When everyone saw the main event as Scorpios versus Ice Wave, we all had the same reaction. Rest in peace, Scorpios.
Yeah, basically.
Nobody would ever think that this match would go the way it did, because Ice Wave is one of the most brutal robots in all of BattleBots, with how it just absolutely trashes its opponents. Yeti, Vanquish, Razorback in its first fight. So you'd think that, Ice Wave would do to its opponents what it did to Scorpios, but... sorry, that didn't come out right. Let's take two. Alright. Yeah, edit this out, Brandon. So you would think that Ice Wave would do to Scorpios what it's done all season, but I was so happy to find out that this was not the case. This is a strong candidate for best fight of the entire season.
Yeah, so essentially, Scorpios was doing what is pretty much the best way you can do to Ice Wave. You just keep on them, get them into the walls, don't let that weapon get up to speed.
Mm-hmm. And it lost its belt for its gears, I believe.
It lost the belt,
Yep.
It lost the wedgelets, and I'm thinking...
And the arm got jammed.
Yeah, the arm. Yeah, I think it's because it lost the belt, or was the saw still going? I don't know.
No, the saw was gone.
The belt you saw fly off was the saw. The arm was actually able to still move, but something was jamming it. So you could see it move back and forth occasionally, but it would not be able to get very far. Mm-hmm. So the weapon was completely disabled in that sense.
I did like the little hockey sticks that it had attached to its little arm.
It was trying to pull a Ghost Raptor, essentially.
And I also liked how on its wedge it had keep your stick on the ice written, which I thought was a reference to Canadian hockey pundit Don Cherry, because he's always saying, you kids out there, you keep your stick on the ice. But apparently it's a reference to AVE, which I do not watch, which is subsequently a reference to the Canadian TV show Red Green.
I love that show so much. That's part of my childhood right there.
The Red Green show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he'd always signed off with keep your stick on the ice, so...
Canada! Yeah. But this was a hell of a fight, and Scorpios was basically playing the role of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, going up against Sub-Zero. He's saying, "Come over here! Come here!" Just
that actually really fits considering, Sub-Zero and Ice Wave.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even make that connection.
I made the connection.
Well, you did, but I didn't.
Yep, and
But it was just shoving them into the walls, into the screws. Ice Wave just kept trying to get its blade up to speed, but, you can't outrun a good driver, and
Ryan
Beach just made a statement tonight with this victory.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a fantastic driver, and
he's also really funny on Facebook too, considering he's always the guy with the Pinkie Pie plush, taking it after all the pit members.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, Ryan, I don't know.
Orion, you are best brony.
Yes.
I don't know if Ryan, I don't know if you saw this or not, but there was something that was do you follow the Robot Wars shunt posting group?
Oh dear God. I'm pretty sure he does.
I do.
Did you see the what happened with Tim from Concussion?
Oh, did he win? He won most handsome person.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes, he won the most handsome boy.
I don't know if I want to make that the title or no. I'll save it when Tim's on.
Yeah, we'll save it for when Tim gets on. But yeah, this is what happened. As a result.
Yeah, he just shared the link.
Yeah.
It has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a great fight, and like I said, I think if they were sticking with the primary weapon rule, probably would have gone in Ice Wave's favor, and I believe this was a 2-1 decision.
Yeah, it was a split decision.
Yeah, and it ended up going to Scorpios.
I agree with the decision, by the way, because even though Ice Wave did a lot of damage to Scorpios, that was the only category I feel that it truly won on. Because it was the more controlled of the two, as it was constantly pursuing it, didn't have any damage to its drive, was fully mobile. It won on tactics because they used the wedge to its advantage to stop Ice Wave's blade before it could get fully up to speed, and it won on aggression because Ice Wave was constantly running away from Scorpios, and Scorpios was always saying, "No, not today."
And Scorpios knew that because, well, that's how you beat Ice Wave, is just keep on him. Don't let that blade get spun up.
Oh, man. I really hope that Ice Wave and Sawblaze get into a fight next, because I'm curious to see how J-Mo's going to handle it, because they don't have the benefits of the big wedge like Scorpios does.
Well, you never know. J-Mo sometimes has a few tricks up his sleeve. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was a fantastic main event.
Oh, yeah. Easily a candidate for best fight of the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd say it's tied with Tombstone versus Minotaur as, like, the best main event.
I'd say
Sure.
it beats Tombstone versus Minotaur simply because it went the distance.
It went the distance, and both robots were still going strong at the end, because Minotaur was pretty much a mess, and the drum wasn't working right, but both robots were able to showcase what they were capable of. I mean, Scorpio's Saw wasn't working, but they were still able to get some real good slams in, just pushing Ice Wave all over the place. This was a real scrap. I love this match. But the good news is Ice Wave isn't out of it. They are 2-1. Scorpios is 1-1. So it can go either way. Yeah, it's 1-1, isn't it?
No, Scorpios beat Lucky, didn't he?
Yeah, Scorpios beat Lucky. It's now 2-0, and
2-0.
Ice Wave is 2-1.
Yeah, I mixed that up. Yeah, so 2-0 for Scorpios and 2-1 for Ice Wave. So it can go either way for either machine on who can make to the top 16. I would argue both of these bots can make the top 16.
Oh yeah.
Yep. As long as Scorpios can keep up its driving, it should be good. Definitely has some repairs to make, though. That's for sure.
Oh, without question. Though it seems that most of their damage outside of the weapon was external.
Mm.
Yeah.
How much you want to bet we're going to end up with a Sawblaze versus Scorpios main event at some point?
Oh, that's gonna.
I would.
That'll put butts in the seats.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that match because
It'll
I
be-
want to see
it's
both
just gonna be
guys go their own
boring.
way. Like, I don't want to see either of these bots lose. I don't know. But that's the way the booking goes. So, overall, I thought this was a hell of an episode.
Oh, yeah.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9.
I'm gonna give it a 9 too. I feel that the Petunia, Captain Shredderator fight brought it down a bit, but at least with that one, we got to see Captain Shredderator go up in flames. So any robot that catches fire is a plus in my book.
How about you, Ryan?
Definitely 9 to 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh, so close, so close. But yeah, this was a solid episode. I look forward to episode 10. We're almost at the halfway point.
We're gonna have 2 weeks off in July, and for those weeks off, we may do some interviews. We may do something different. Maybe I'll force Brandon to watch Gundam 0080, and we'll review that. But we're also.
Or I'll force you to watch Extreme Warrior Series 2.
That, and we're also hoping to get an interview with Sarah from BattleBots.
Yeah, that's
I
gonna be fun.
Actually, I wouldn't mind reviewing some other robot combat-themed episodes of the TV show, since I know that's something I have a lot of thoughts on.
I know there is an episode of Lab Rats where they had the Team Raptor bots and Dr. Inferno Jr. competing. So
Yep.
I've seen that episode. It's actually a really fun episode. It's a lot more fun than what we're going to be reviewing as this bonus match, but
Yeah.
I'm actually going to save that for a separate video. I'm gonna have the this is going to be the BattleBots review portion, and I'm going to have the Zoe 101 Robot Wars episode in a separate video. So if you want to see that, that is the next episode, which I'm going to be editing both these episodes at the same time. So if you want to see the Zoe 101 episode review, check out the next episode on my YouTube. So I hope you enjoy that, and until that, let's stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Just do the sign-off phrase, Brandon.
All right, why not? Until next time, which is in another 5 minutes, I'm the Hardcore Kid.
And I'm Otaku Nate.
I'm Ryan Beaver, and remember, Scorpios is magic.
Exactly.